What's your immediate takeaway 1 week after Operation Sindoor?
I think it was a successful operation, a strong, measured, and professional response to a heinous act of terror. It was required. There was considerable public outrage in the country. But more than that, we called the nuclear bluff. We negated the long-standing policy of strategic restraint, and we set a whole new strategic doctrine into play. So in sum, as a professional, I think it was an excellent operation.
Great to see that as a good beginning to this dialogue, because several lessons here. Of course, we'll come back to you and several other points to be discussed. General Raj Shukla, your take.
So quite, similar to what the Admiral's reaction was. I also think, this was an overwhelming success. I cannot think in recent times of a similar military success. At least through my career, I have not seen one, because I was commissioned after 71. So it is really a seminal moment. It is also a seminal moment for Indian statecraft. You see how all the levers, diplomacy, the military, sensors, shooters, even the information narrative was far better than Balakot. This tells us what? That for a long time we have been punching below our weight. If you punch to your weight, we can do so much more. The third point is this nuclear bluff thing. This nuclear bluff, I want to just tell you, with this Kaluchak. So I'll give you exactly what he was doing and the bluff that we have called. So 14th May, I know that. I was a colonel then, or a lieutenant colonel. We were mobilized, waiting to go, and he does Kaluchak. Military station families, what greater provocation? And we are ready. And Mr. Vajpayee makes that speech, Aar Paar Ki Ladai means go, and he says we are going, and then what? Up comes Kidwai, nuclear rattle. 14th May Kaluchak happens, June Gauri is fired. July Abdali is fired. To a design.
You're talking about 2001, right?
2001 December. I'm talking of when Kaluchak happens.
Yeah.
So the point is we are mobilized.
Yes.
Ready, plans are ready, I was there.
Parakram.
Yes. And I'm saying how this nuclear thing plays out. There are shock waves through Washington. You have some people, embassies, being vacated. Travel advisories, American businesses move out. And who gets rewarded? The perpetrator is rewarded. The victim is punished. So the biggest takeaway is that we have called out this nuclear bluff. And the point that I want to make is, see, there are always red lines, Nitin. But who will determine the red lines? We. And whole generalship and statecraft is to employ your forces and keep it short of the red lines. This is what we have done. It is a major gain. And the second point is that for Pakistan, the manner in which it was working was terror was a low-cost option. Now terror is a high-cost option. You choose. Do you want to fund that next group, abet that next group, or you want to face the wrath of India's conventional might? And even though I'm an army man, I will say this was the Air Force's war. Air, power and AD have come together. I never thought our AD wall could be so strong. It has surprised me beyond measure. I've been saying, but let me tell you, and the last point I want to say, this is the punchline. India has rediscovered the utility of force. We always thought that force was not usable in such a brilliant fashion. Having said that, and just one last point I want to say, it is a moment of great celebration, but introspection, because we have many weaknesses.
Sure.
And preparation for the greater challenges that lie ahead.
That's what we'll do as we go along, and that gives me a cue, Air Force success. How does an Air Force man look at it?
I think as we go down discussing further issues, Air Force will come into greater detail, but I thought I'll just do a overall roundup.
Sure,
the overall roundup, in my opinion, is the kind of surprise the nation achieved. That's the first and most important thing. You see how we have built it up from 2016. Uri, then Balakot, and this time. Did Pakistan ever expect this? No. Second is the whole of the nation approach. That means everybody knew what is to be done, and everything is working in a very, very precise manner. Third, which is very important, is earlier Pakistan was drawing the red lines. This time we have drawn the red lines, which is a major difference. Now the buck stops at them. The they are on the defensive and not us on the defensive. So this is a complete change in the doctrine from being a defensive doctrine to being an offensive doctrine. And lastly, since I am from the Air Force, I would say this is a perfect example of anti-access area denial utilization of air power in a completely network-centric environment. It couldn't have worked better than this, because the fact is that we never allowed Pakistan Air Force to get on the offensive, which is what they die for.
Exactly. No, true. And I think interesting that you use the anti-access area denial term, which is normally used in the naval parlance. So the Air Force is this thing, yes.
Can I just want to, Admiral Chopra spoke about restraint.
Yes.
See, I'll just tell you, I'm quoting Jaswant Singh now, after Parakram. And he's a man to be respected.
Yes, of course.
What did he say? He said, what were our objectives? Defeat terrorism without conflict. We have done precisely the opposite.
Yes.
Terrorism cannot be defeated without conflict. 2, he says the objective was to contain the national mood of teaching Pakistan a lesson. So contain it, not go to war. And this is it. He says, my most taxing challenge was to get the generals, the air marshals and the admirals to recognize restraint as a strategic asset for avoiding conflict. It was fashionable to be restrained. Whereas restraint with Pakistan doesn't work. Understand that monkey. And it was elevated to such highbrow intellect that everybody was restrained.
And it got internalized.
Yeah. We have really, these myths have been shattered.
Absolutely.
But one of the things we'll have to be concerned about is to find the correct balance between restraint and between going offensive. And I think we have the maturity in the system now to be able to find this balance. And in the short 4-day conflict, we managed to do a hell of a lot. We not only took out their terrorist camps, we also managed the AD, and we hit their airfields.